Attachments. What are they? Knowing when and how to let go. Hello everyone, this is Lori Lyons of Higher Self Access. I am a QHHT Level 3 practitioner, board-certified clinical hypnotist, higher self coach and spiritual sounding board, and inspirational medium. Attachment is quite the spiritual homonym. At first pass, attachment denotes a bond or connection. Attachment can mean a loving bond, a toxic bond, or a parasitic entity. It is clear that not all attachment is created equal and can represent a set of juxtaposed dynamics. A healthy attachment is based on autonomy, accountability, and individuality. These bonds honor our universal need and desire for community and connection. Whether with friends, family, or romantic partners, these connections inspire and support us along the path of self-realization and self-actualization. They are essential components to living a happy, healthy, and well-adjusted existence. These relationships form a firm foundation from which we depart to explore the world, cultivate our personhood, and pursue our purpose. We return from time to time, whether daily or annually, to renew our spirits, commune lovingly, and seek solace. We don't feel tied down by dutifulness or indebtedness or obligation, nor do we feel the push to earn the love and support these connections offer. Healthy attachments ebb and flow naturally with time, picking up or ending along a free-flowing continuum. An unhealthy attachment is based on codependence, poor boundaries, and fear. These attachments detract from our autonomy, our accountability, and spiritual and emotional well-being. Whether with family, friends, or romantic partners, these connections serve as obstacles along the path of self-realization. They are detrimental to a well-adjusted, healthy existence. These relationships hinder us from exploring the world, nurturing our personhood, and pursuing our higher purpose because we are afraid to relax our grasp as we desperately cling to them. There is a deep-seated panic that if we depart from them, we will be abandoned and alone, without solace in the world. Unhealthy attachments keep us locked in a vicious cycle of false hope, anxiety, overthinking, and despair. These attachments make us feel tied down and trapped by a false sense of duty and indebtedness to the individual, the belief, or the circumstances they court us to. We feel the constant ache and sometimes agony of having to earn our position in said dynamic, no matter how uncomfortable and deleterious. Entities or low vibrational attachments can happen to almost anyone, though they often seek out those with porous auras and weakened energy fields. This is often the result of trauma, low vibrational thoughts, intentions, or behaviors. Thoughts, intentions, and behaviors profoundly affect our vibration. Moving through life with a low or negative resonance will attract people, circumstances, and entities that resonate at similar negative frequencies. Mental, emotional, and spiritual states like jealousy, fear, alcoholism, self-victimization, or ego masking will attract circumstances or people that perpetuate jealousy, anxiety, addiction, and situations that trigger the victim's complex and ego defenses, respectively. When we deny these maladaptive, low-frequency aspects of ourselves, we lack awareness of our shadow self and the entities that attach themselves to it. This causes a vicious cycle wherein the shadow self feeds the entities and the entities fuel the shadow self, thereby contributing to a state of stagnation where one is trapped in a vicious cycle of anxiety, denial, and despair. Identifying who and what to release is relatively simple. This doesn't mean it is easy, though. When we closely identify with attachments, it can be very hard to recognize which ones we must remove. It all begins with being intuitively aware of when, where, and with whom we feel poorly, and when, where, and with whom we feel genuinely fulfilled. Some hallmarks of unhealthy attachments and low vibrational entities that need to be released include assigning an exaggerated sense of admiration or dependency to someone or something, emotional dysregulation such as angry, tearful, or panicky outbursts, experiencing stagnation and frequently encountering obstacles in life, feeling triggered to react, lacking the awareness to respond, overthinking others' motives, intentions, and opinions, viewing others with jealousy, unreasonable distrust, and envy, painful or agonizing needs for someone or something, feeling incomplete or chronically unfulfilled, and unwillingness or inability to take accountability for our emotions or our outcomes. The primary obstacle to releasing negative attachments are the fear of disconnection and the inability to define the self without the attachment. One must establish healthy connections and rediscover their personhood and self-worth to counteract these fears. While human-to-human attachment is necessary, every earthly bond is vulnerable to human fallibility and the temporary nature of the physical. The only connection that can empower us to cut ties with an unhealthy one is one to the divine. By forming a conscious bond with the universal divine's unconditional love, harmony, unity, and peace, we no longer feel the numbness, emptiness, directionless, purposelessness of disconnection. We can better see unhealthy, unnatural attachments, limitations, and deleterious effects. Connection to an existence born of higher consciousness can also foster a more profound sense of unconditional love for the self, unity with the shadow self, and harmony across the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. This eliminates the need for unhealthy attachments and shields us against the draining force of low vibrational entities. In this way, we can redefine our personhood as balanced, peaceful, fulfilled, and whole unto ourselves. When we first begin the process of detaching, we may experience waves of fear, despair, aimlessness, or even rage and resentment, making the process a challenge to navigate. It's essential to frequently reorient oneself to the reason for detaching, be it greater happiness, health, or peace. Another essential practice is embracing the present to avoid generalizing, catastrophizing, and panic attaching. Whether through meditation, mindfulness, or grounding, remaining in the now prevents us from projecting ourselves into the anxious what ifs of the future or the despairing should haves of the past. Remaining mindful of the present also creates an objective space to fact-check limiting beliefs, negative thoughts, and emotional reactions. By contradicting these negative ruminations, we prevent ourselves from clinging to unhealthy attachments or opening ourselves to entities. By taking responsibility for our reactions and reconditioning ourselves to respond mindfully instead, we begin to appreciate our own accountability for our emotions, our experiences, and our outcomes, cultivating self-mastery and, in turn, independence, empowerment, and self-worth. Living a life of non-attachment may seem scary to those who are not familiar with the concept. Ultimately, you can better love others and yourself when you establish healthy boundaries and allow everyone to become, achieve, and awaken what they are destined to. When you live a life ensnared with courting, you inhibit your ability to grow, change, and manifest, because a life of attachment is a tethered, limiting existence. By letting go, you achieve two things that may seem counterintuitive. You become the sovereign authority over your life, and you surrender to the power of the universe. While seemingly opposed, surrender and personal sovereignty go hand in hand because they both lead to freedom. To be the authority over your outcomes means you are free to manifest the experience you need and desire. To surrender to the universe is to be free from the need to control people, to control circumstances, or to control outcomes, because you trust that when you are in alignment, everything will work toward your greatest good and your highest purpose. Surrender means fully embracing the present, accepting your powerlessness in the unrealized future, and realizing the unchangeable past. The now is where you find stillness, peace, and immeasurable power. With that peace and power, the possibilities are as expansive as the bliss. There is no fear, no lack, no pain, and no attachment, because we are one with ourselves and the divine. No attachment is needed when we are already complete. And to quote the Buddha, the root of all suffering is attachment. If you find my videos valuable, please like, comment, and subscribe. That way, the algorithms will make them available to a wider audience. I thank you for listening, and I wish you love and truth. I am Lori Lines.